The Walt Disney Studios Park is undergoing its biggest expansion and transformation since it opened in 2002. We've been covering the project since the early days of the channel, and since then, we've been over a lot of new information, cancelled plans, rumors and possibilities, construction updates, and so much more. But in this time, I have never made one video covering everything we know about this project. So today, I'll be compiling everything into just one video with updated information. That said, come along and discover everything there is to know about Walt Disney Studios 2.0 right now.
Oh boy!
Before we begin, if you enjoy my content and this video, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing as I upload weekly videos on theme parks from the past to the future. If you want to go the extra mile, consider becoming a channel member. You can find me over at Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, and in our Discord community where I'm most active. Links are in the description. With that said, let's dig in. Announced back in 2018, the Walt Disney Company promised to invest 2 billion euros in the European resort. In this budget were included many projects such as hotel rehabilitations with Hotel New York and more recently the Disneyland Hotel, the Village Makeover, which is currently happening, attraction refurbishments and others, but the biggest one out of all was the Walt Disney Studios transformation. Announced was Avengers Campus, using already existing infrastructure, and the expansion that would nearly double the size of the park. Within the expansion, it was said that a big lake would become the centerpiece, with 2 lands around it, Frozen's Arendelle and a smaller Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. The timeline was simple: Avengers Campus to open in 2021, Frozen the Lake and Promenade in 2023, and Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in 2025. Unfortunately, the developments had to be completely stopped because of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, and when it slowly returned, it was focused on just Avengers Campus to make sure it opened with the smallest delay possible, which it did in 2022. This was also the year the second part of the project, the Promenade, Lake, and Frozen, began construction, which would obviously open with a big delay. Word got out that the second lake-themed land, originally Star Wars, would change. This was partially due to the reception of Galaxy's Edge in the US parks, but also the need for something exclusive to the park, but we'll get to that later on. Now that you're all updated on the history of the expansion, let's start going over everything that you'll be able to see and do when the construction ends, starting where you normally do, the entrance of the park. Production Courtyard is the second land you pass by when entering the park. It spans from Avengers Campus to Worlds of Pixar, and it's currently one of the worst parts of the park. This whole area is changing. Inspired by an older proposal for the location, the land will be transformed into Theater District. The name might sound somewhat strange, but it makes complete sense. At the heart of the new Walt Disney Studios Park will be entertainment, and this place will be the heart of said entertainment. Studio District will have 4 different show venues. The identical Studio 2 and 3, where currently you can watch together a Pixar musical adventure and Mickey and the Magician. Then there's a smaller Studio D, which is playing Disney Dream Factory, and the last, yet special one, Art of Animation, where you can discover Frozen, a musical invitation. The biggest changes will be done to the outside, as we can see from these amazing renderings by our friends over at Outside Ears. The construction is already happening, and right as you enter the park, a maze of construction walls will meet you, but these are there for a good reason. With new pavements, light posts, flower beds, food carts, and most importantly, trees and greenery, this land will be completely different when the works end. This will serve as a much better introduction to the second Disneyland Paris theme park than the current one, and I can't wait to see how it all looks when construction ends. The Theater District, as I said, is currently underway and works won't end until mid-2025. But it's not just the outside that's evolving, because inside Studio One, things will soon begin changing as well. The closure of Studio One and the rest of Theater District has been officially confirmed by Disney in this statement. Starting from October 2023, the entrance to Walt Disney Studios Park is getting an upgrade and will go through several phases of work, including the closure of Studio One from April 2024. Looking at the timeline for the project, it seems the indoor Hollywood Boulevard won't reopen until the end of the project in mid-2025. But we don't know everything happening inside. But we do know that the right side of the Hollywood facades, where you can find the restaurant, will be demolished, and new facades, representing one of the emblematic cinemas owned by the Walt Disney Company, will be built on the exit to the theme park side of the building. Inside, though, a new atmosphere will be present, where now we are all invited to celebrate a movie premiere and go into the movies themselves as we leave Studio One. The theme of the park is changing from the outdated look behind the scenes of movie productions into a place where you can step into the worlds from those movies. Both the restaurant and store will remain inside, but with many changes, especially the restaurant, where huge new trees will protect those dining under them in the movie premiere party. So that's it for this side of the Walt Disney Studios Park. Let's now go over to the expansion part. Firstly, look at the amazing scale of the expansion. It truly is incredibly big. Here, connecting to the rest of the park and the theater district, will be the Promenade. This and the lake will both have architecture reminiscent of Art Nouveau. And in this street leading to the lake, there will be gardens on both sides. On the left, you can discover the English Gardens with a small outside amphitheater with a gazebo as a centerpiece, most likely for small shows with characters such as Mary Poppins. On the right side of the promenade, a new entrance and small expansion of the Toy Story Playland will be present, featuring new theming such as Woody and Jessie holding the lights. There is also the Tangled Gardens, themed around Rapunzel. This will feature a small pond and the first new attraction, a spinner ride recreating the famous Lantern Festival scene from the Tangled movie, where guests will board their own wooden boats and spin around. By looking up, hundreds of lanterns will shine upon the riders. This will be an amazing sight to see at night. The attractions building will cover the ride and part of the queue, similarly to the teacups, and be themed with the Art Nouveau architecture found around the lake. The lake itself will be the centerpiece of the expansion and hold several shows during the day with water fountains. On its shores lie several buildings. A big table service restaurant, where the Art Nouveau building will have two areas, a bar with a 75-seat capacity and a dining room with 250 seats. Both areas will face the lake and feature great windows, not only allowing a lot of light into the restaurant, but also giving spectacular views of the lake and its shows. The West Pavilion, close to Cars Road Trip with catering options, 3 food kiosks, and several awnings around the lake to protect guests from the elements. The East Pavilion will feature a snack location with takeaway food, restrooms, storage, and the control room for the lake shows. Talking about shows, all around the lake, viewing areas are being created with different levels, allowing everyone to get a great view of the daytime and nighttime shows. According to all the rumors, it's said that the lake will host a nighttime spectacular similar to that of Fantasmic in Tokyo Disney Sea, with different barges, fountains, pyrotechnic effects, and more. In this case, all this and more would be possible here in the studio's lake, as infrastructure is being built for it, such as a rotating bridge that will open to let technical equipment and barges pass through to the lake. Backstage, a big technical basin for boats or barges has been built to store these, and other storage buildings are also planned to store flammable liquids, pyro, electricals, and most excitingly, drone batteries, hinting that drones will be used during the nighttime shows. Well, let's finally go over to the most important part of the expansion, which is Arendelle, the world of Frozen. This will be the most immersive area in the new Walt Disney Studios Park, which will open up the Norwegian village of Arendelle from the Frozen movies for everyone to visit. Nestled in the magnificent mountains of Arendelle is the village. On the top of the 40-meter mountains, Elsa's ice castle shines upon everything. The atmosphere here will be amazing, in one side with the mountains and the other with a beautiful Arendelle marina with some small boats. To better understand how this land will be like, we can learn from Hong Kong Disneyland, whose Arendelle opened not long ago. While the names may be changed, the theming will remain very similar. Many of the village facades will hide a big restaurant, the Gold Cronus Inn, a 250-seater where guests can discover a cozy atmosphere and enjoy flavors inspired by Scandinavian cuisine. The Northern Delights is a food shop named after the famous Northern Lights. Inside, a big selection of sweets and desserts can be found. Throughout the land, shops are also available, such as the charming TikTok Toys and Collectibles, the biggest shop in the land. In Paris, unlike Hong Kong, a big indoor meet-and-greet location is being built where guests will be able to meet many of the beloved characters from the franchise. All throughout Arendelle, guests will be able to find a lot of street entertainment organized by the townspeople. But by far, the biggest attraction is the ride. Frozen Ever After is an updated version of the ride with the same name in Epcot. This version is longer, has a much bigger capacity, new completely physical animatronics, and updated ride system. But at its core, it still has the same storyline. I recommend you watch a ride-through of Hong Kong's ride, as Paris will be the exact same one, or not if you want to avoid spoilers. On the side closer to the lake, the Frozen Gardens will offer a relaxing atmosphere overlooking the body of water. If you want to see how construction is moving along, make sure to watch our December Disneyland Paris construction update video. In late March, I'll be uploading a new one, so subscribe as not to miss it. I can feel 2 more questions left to be answered in your head, and those are, what about the third land, and when will all this open? Rumors indicate that the third land will be themed around the world of the Lion King, and plans are already finished and construction permits will soon be filed, as an announcement is expected this year. I can't really say a lot more other than, according to the rumors, it'll feature a fantastic water-based ride. On the second question, unfortunately Disney still to confirm an opening date, or even year, but reports indicate that the expansion side of the project will open in 2025. It was previously assumed that everything would be ready to open in time for the summer season, alongside the theater district, whose works end in May to early summer. But the latest information suggests a late 2025 opening. It's also possible that the lake and promenade areas could open before Frozen, but it seems more likely that everything will open at once. Please remember that this is unofficial information, and we should wait until Disney announces all of it, which could happen this August during D23 Expo. Either way, I'll be here to cover everything and anything that may be announced. Hopefully this complete guide answers some questions. If you still have something you're not sure about, make sure to comment down below and I'll try my best to answer them. And now, as always, thank you for watching, and that's a wrap.